So my name is Nanette Richards, and I'm a plant ecologist and the owner of Silverberry Pro, which is a company that specializes in native plants in northern Alberta and BC. So my area of expertise is plant community ecology. So what plants grow together, where you find them on the landscape, and how they change over time. So the problem in the Groundbirch area is that there's a really high density and extent of seismic lines in the area. So there was a lot of oil and gas exploration at some point in time, and it's continued on now. And those are still remnant on the landscape and haven't been able to close off on their own. So our solution to that is to start healing the land and closing off those seismic lines is to use live staking combined with culturally important seedlings to move towards closure on those seismic lines so that the landscape isn't so fragmented and can begin to heal. So when Silverberry and Aski work together, we bring two different pieces. Circle over here is the ecological species that will work. Aski says these are the species that are most culturally important, and then we overlap them, and that Venn overlap in the middle, those are the species that we focus on and the areas that we focus on. So groundbirch is an area that we have a lot of ecological data and experience and boots on the ground history on, and it's an area that's culturally important to Aski and to Saulteau community. Our approach to restoration in the groundbirch area is to choose sites that are close together geographically and spatially. I mean, the end goal here is to restore the land and stop the fragmentation of it. So if we pick areas that are close together, we feel there'll be a quicker impact that can resonate on the land with the wildlife, all the ripples that come out from the restoration in a shorter period of time. We were able to restore 30 kilometers of line. We were able to put 30,000 live stakes back on the lands and 50,000 native plants, which were mainly shrubs and trees that are ecoculturally important to the area. At the same time, we were able to learn a lot of new technical skills and come up with some really creative, inventive, effective, efficient ways of doing that on the landscape that I don't think people have done before.
The work Aski does is meaningful because it's very grassroots-led and community-driven. So we work with the nation and our nation members on a lot of different levels, incorporating First Nations values into the practices and the work that we do. We provide employment opportunities from boots on the ground all the way through administrative up to management. And we're able to really incorporate through all different phases of our projects, Indigenous values, traditional ecological knowledge, and Western science overlap, creating a nice community relationship between industry and back to our community roots. As a First Nations person, the work I do is important at Aski Reclamation because it's representative of our community, our values, and our traditions. I think being able to lead as a manager and see projects through and work with industry hand in hand and what that means for Indigenous inclusion is really important to have a voice and representation back to our nation as a whole.
Traditional ecological knowledge, I believe, has been passed on. Obviously, we've lost a lot, but what we've retained is critically important. I think tech is more important than Western science. Western science may support what you're doing, but we're carrying knowledge that is much more lived and has been in our life much longer than Western science. So when we retain this data, it normally is based on a project. So we know that someone's gonna go in there and disturb the land base or the landscape. So we can let Aski know that, hey, we have this database of what we know is there and what we know should be protected. And Aski will keep that at the forefront of their development, knowing that, hey, this is important to Saulteau because of this, this, and that. So we know that there could be a burial site there. There could be important medicines we've been harvesting. And if you know that, you'll know that we have to plant that back. We can contact Twin Sisters and be like, do you have a list of these plants pertaining to what we've described and what we've gathered from the membership and shared with Aski.
Saulteau is a member of Treaty 8. We are the most populous community of Treaty 8 BC. I think we currently sit around 1,300 members. We're a very forward-looking nation that focuses a lot on, solid governance. And for me, best govern means having the protocols and policies and guidelines in place to make sure that you're governing in both ethical, efficient, economical manner that is going to provide the most opportunities for membership while bringing the nation forward. We push a lot of new initiatives that I think haven't been done before, and really try to streamline and bring in Indigenous values and ways of doing things that haven't really been part of the Western way of industry. I think it's bringing a balance between economic growth, but also the reclamation and concern for the environment.
My name is Julian Napoleon, and I'm a band member at Saulteau First Nations. I'm the manager and head grower here at Twin Sisters Nursery. I view this place as one of the primary zero barriers to entry employers for community members, which there's not enough of. We need to have opportunities for people from the reserves to work that accommodate their lives. We have a lot of single parents working here. At times of the year, we have elders working here. And, we've even had some pregnant folks working here. And I love to be able to provide a space where we can come in. Everyone's is like a family. That to me is actually the most important value of this place, is holding that space for our community members to have work that they can feel good about. I guess just to be able to go out on the land is medicine in itself. Like, the whole process is reconciliatory in that, we're the leads. It's all Indigenous led. Reconciliatory simply because it's so much better than it used to be. We were not even involved, and then reclamation that was happening would be like your general grass and clover blend, seed tossed out, and we weren't at the table. Now we're at every stage of that process. We're there. The community itself is the real answer